Welcome back again, Gameyaaad family. Thank you so much for joining us for this another video. Now, yesterday was a very tough day for West Indies. We would have lost 3 games in one day. It has been really a tough day for the West Indies team. And I'm going to look on the West Indies versus the Ireland game in this video. Now, West Indies would have been beaten, in fact they were crushed by Ireland by 124 runs. And I just want to say this up front, it's not that we were defeated, but what upset me is the manner in which we were defeated, right? Our bowlers, let us talk about the bowlers first. I think they lack penetration, they lack intent, right? I mean, it's like they were just waiting for the 50 over to finish, right? We didn't see any intent, we did not see any fight from our bowlers. And to be fair to them, I think they would have, pegged the Ireland team back in the latter part of the innings. In the last 10 overs, from over 41 to 50, I think they would have done reasonably well, pegging the Ireland team back. Because to be honest with you, at one point I was, expecting Ireland to make in excess of 340 to 350 runs at the rate that they were going, right? And I must commend them for pegging them, the team back there. But when you look at the overall, game, West Indies, we it seems like we did not turn up for the match, to be honest with you. And to be fair to them, some of them haven't played ODI cricket for, I think the last series we had would have been the Bangladesh series, and that would have been about 5 months ago, right? So, I mean, even Shamar Joseph just looked, out of rhythm. He struggled to find any good line and length. Matthew Ford, even though he would have taken 3 wickets, he was, very expensive. I think he went for 68 runs from his 10 overs. Alright, in terms of the match summary, so Ireland would have batted first, and they would have piled up 303 for 6 of their allotted 50 overs. Andy Balbirnie would have made 112 from 138 deliveries, and he was the player of the match. One of the reasons why Balbirnie is not a part of Ireland T20 setup is, I mean, this innings may have, shown why, because he was there for a long period of time, right? And you would have expected him to push on the score. In fact, we finished with a strike rate of 81. For batting 138 deliveries, you expect to score a bigger total, right? And he needs to improve on his strike rate in the next match. But he would have made 112, and he would have set up, the game for the Ireland team. But I think my standout performer was Paul Sterling, right? He made 54 from 64 delivery. And one of the reasons why I say that Paul Sterling was one of my best players on that, in that game. Paul Sterling, when West Indies was, bowling in the early part of the game, he started to use his feet, and in order to get the West Indian bowlers off their line, and he did that effectively, right? And he put back a lot of pressure on the West Indies bowlers. Harry Tector would have made 56 from 51 deliveries. And I would have said earlier, Matthew Ford would have taken 3 for 68 for the West Indies. West Indies in their reply, they would have made 179 all out from 34.1 over. Ruston Chase made 55 from 65 deliveries. Matthew Ford chipped in with 38 from 48 deliveries. And the pick of the Ireland bowlers include Barry McCarthy, would have taken 4 for 32, and George Dockrell, veteran George Dockrell, left arm spinner, 3 for 21. So the Ireland bowlers, they were very, very effective in the power play, and I think that's where they won the game. West Indies, they would have had West Indies on the back. In fact, West Indies would have lost 5 wickets in the power play. When Captain Shea Hope would have been dismissed, West Indies would have been at 31 for 5. Right? We cannot lose so many wickets in the power play, right? And West Indies would have gotten their first wicket in the 22nd over, right? That's a big difference there. So West Indies need to, in the next match, they need to have more intent in terms of what they are going to do. They did not execute their game plan well. They would have dropped catches. Balburney would have been dropped on 65, right? And he went on to make 112, right? I think Alzari Joseph would have been, our best bowler yesterday. In fact, I was, keeping tabs on his dot ball percentage. When he was at 9.4 overs, he would have bowled already 32 dot balls. He was really, good yesterday, even though he did not take a lot of wickets, but he was very economical. Let's look on the Ireland bowlers. Even though they are not, they do not have the pace like West Indian bowlers, but what I find with them, especially with the debutant Thomas Mays and Barry McCarthy up front, they were very, very disciplined in their line and length. And even though Justin Gibbs came in and he started to, a little counter punch, they did not lose, discipline. They were very, very disciplined in their bowling, and I think that was the difference between, the two teams. Right, West Indies bowlers, they were all over the place. Right, Budakish Moti, which we had expected, generally in the middle overs to take wickets, he did not take. In fact, West Indies would have taken only 2 wickets in the middle over phase. Right, so there are a lot of improvements to be made for the next match. I know that, Coach Darren Sammy would have, said that they did not execute their game plan well. They were very timid, and I can agree with him to some extent. We lacked intent in that game. Sometimes we need to, put back pressure on the opponent. Even though we are down and out, we have to try and put back some pressure. We cannot be soaking up all that pressure. We have to find a way to put back some pressure. And I must commend Ruston Chase and Matthew Ford. They would have made, a 98-run partnership despite how badly and poorly we would have, played yesterday. That was, some bright area of our game yesterday, which I think I need to highlight. Right, and that's one of the biggest victory for Ireland against any full member team, beating the West Indies by 124 runs. So in terms of Ireland, I would have written down a few things here in terms of what they would have done well and what they need to improve on. So Ireland, they had strong partnerships yesterday, especially with Balburney and Testa. They ensured a competitive total. In terms of their bowling attack, McCarthy and Dockrell exploited West Indies' weaknesses effectively. Right, in terms of West Indies, Chase and Ford, as I said before, they would have made a resilient partnership despite the the nature and the context of the game. West Indies would have had a top order collapse, and we cannot afford that in another game, right? We expect West Indies to bounce back and to win the other two games, right? As I said, we would have lost 5 wickets for 31 runs in the first 10 overs. When you lose so many wickets in a game, it is very hard to get back in the game, to get some handle in on the game, right? Because you would have lost, momentum losing so many wickets, right? In terms of, bowling, we struggled a lot. Matthew Ford would have been very expensive with 3 for 68 from his 10, right? So, I mean, we expect a lot of improvements from the West Indies team going into the next match. I do not have much to say on this game. I mean the signs are just glaring in this game. We were not competitive, and that is a fact. So I expect West Indies to bounce back and bounce back well in the next game. Thank you so much for joining us for this video. Please remember to share this video with your friends and family. Hit that subscribe button, turn on that post notification bell so that you can be notified whenever content would have been uploaded on the channel. And have a great day. Even though we are stressed out in the West Indies, but I know the team will bounce back. I know the team will bounce back. All the teams will bounce back in the next game. Alright, so be strong, stay safe out there. God bless you, and have a great day.
Belo, 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 belo.